Record 39, Side 1, Lesson number 39, the 39th lesson, Practical section, The English-speaking countries. 2. The Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is today an association of 13 sovereign states, each free to adhere or withdraw at any time. These countries are the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, India, Pakistan, Ceylon, Ghana, the Federation of Malaya, the Federation of Nigeria, Cyprus, Sierra Leone, and Tanganyika. There is no common government or administration linking these independent countries together. They collaborate and discuss any matter which affects each or all of them, but interference, or anything which might be so considered, in the internal affairs of any one state, is not permissible unless the interested country is agreeable or the subject is one of mutual interest. The recent withdrawal of South Africa from the Commonwealth was brought about in this way. There are, as can be seen from the above list, a number of colored countries in the association, and the complete collapse of the organization seemed inevitable if one member, with a mixed population, was allowed to treat the white and colored sections of its population in different ways. South Africa, seeing no reason to change its attitude, withdrew. Any member country of the Commonwealth may decide to discontinue its membership at any time, but for the most part, the association appears to be both useful and profitable to the 13 countries involved, and through the association there are regular meetings of the Prime Ministers of all member states, usually held, though not necessarily so, in London. There is, however, one common link between all the countries in the Commonwealth: the Queen. The Queen of Great Britain is also the head of the Commonwealth. This is recognized also by countries like India, Pakistan, and Ghana, where the head of state is an elected president, or, as in the case of the Federation of Malaya, a hereditary ruler. The other countries of the association recognize the Queen not only as head of the Commonwealth, but as head of state. The Queen is therefore also Queen of Canada, Australia, and so on, but not of India, Pakistan, or the other republics within the association. The term Commonwealth is comparatively new, having been accepted by the representatives of the following countries in the British Empire at that time: the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the Union of South Africa, the Irish Free State, Newfoundland, and India at the Imperial Conference of 1926. Each was to have equal status, none more or less important than the others, with the right to express its opinion regarding all matters that might be discussed at future meetings. Since the end of the last war, there have been 10 or 11 meetings of Prime Ministers in different years, so demonstrating the close contact between the participating countries and their desire to keep one another informed of changes of plan, and also to discuss how world situations affecting some or all of them may be faced jointly if necessary. In order that a permanent headquarters may be available for these meetings, and others of a cultural or political nature, the Queen has placed the Palace of Marlborough House at the disposal of the United Kingdom government. Commonwealth preference is a system whereby the countries forming the association make tariff concessions to each other. These are intended to increase trade between the various Commonwealth countries and perhaps constitute one of the stumbling blocks between the UK and the Commonwealth countries on the one hand and the common market countries on the other to Great Britain's entry into the European common market. There is organized collaboration not only in trade, which is vital to all the countries concerned, but in all fields of culture and research, whether it be on atomic energy, space research, agriculture and forestry, or on the Commonwealth Transantarctic Expedition of 4 or 5 years ago, when, for the first time, a land crossing of the Antarctic continent was made by way of the South Pole by a team of Commonwealth explorers who had been financed by a number of the governments then associated in the Commonwealth. Where there is such close collaboration between a large group of countries, it is also advisable to have immigration laws and citizenship status agreements that make movement of Commonwealth citizens between one country and another possible with a minimum of red tape. In 1947, therefore, an agreement was drawn up between the countries then forming the Commonwealth, India not attending, whereby each member country would make its own citizenship law defining who should and should not be citizens. But each member agreed to consider its own and the citizens of other Commonwealth countries as British or Commonwealth citizens according to the term preferred. Women would not necessarily take their husband's nationality, and Commonwealth citizens would more easily acquire citizenship of another country in the association than an alien.
Side 2, Grammatical section. Verb constructions. We have now completed all the verb tenses and the lessons on the common uses and meanings of the defective and auxiliary verbs. We have also explained the particular meanings and uses for some, such as the impersonal verbs and those dealing with perception. So it will now be useful, in order to get a better understanding of the language and its construction, to study some of the more common verb forms. From this study, we may more clearly understand the other syntactical problems presented by the English language. The simplest construction is undoubtedly subject plus verb plus object. I want a book. Does he study English? We are ready. This isn't my hat. I said good afternoon. Didn't he explain what was to be done? Notice that the object, as in the last example, may also be a clause, not merely a noun or pronoun. A second verb construction is that followed by the infinitive with to, or, as the case may be, with a negative infinitive with to. Subject plus verb plus to infinitive. I wanted to go. They continued to read their book. The butcher needed to find an assistant. It came on to rain. Among the many verbs which may be used in this construction is to think. This verb is normally followed by of plus the gerund, of plus object, or a noun clause introduced by that. Where, however, it is used to mean expect or have in mind, it may take the infinitive with to. He thought to see some of his friends at the party. They thought to give us the slip, but we guessed their intention in time. Some common verbs used in this construction are attempt, begin, come on, continue, dare, decide, expect, forget, hope, like, love, mean, need, prefer, promise, refuse, remember, start, try, want, and wish. In this construction, we can never use the auxiliary or defective verbs do, shall, will, must, might, can, dare, need. They always take the infinitive without to. The next construction to practice is subject plus verb plus noun or pronoun plus to infinitive. They wanted the children to study. I permitted him to sit in the garden. Would you teach the pupils to use this construction? The children reminded us to go and see about the summer holidays. William and his friend told John and Mary to come any afternoon next week. I expected my friends to come in the afternoon, but they phoned me after lunch to say they were unable to leave before the weekend. Here are some common verbs found in this construction: advise, allow, ask, compel, decide, expect, get, help, intend, invite, leave, like, love, mean, persuade, prefer, remind, tell, want, wish. Notice that there are no verbs of perception in this list, nor any of the other verbs which are followed by the infinitive without to, such as know, let, make. They require the to infinitive only in the passive voice. The next construction is not new, since it refers to verbs of physical perception and a few others noted above, which do not indicate this state. It will be sufficient to give examples to refresh the memory. I saw the boy fall off his bicycle. We felt his heart begin to beat again. When people hear things drop, they usually want to know what's happened. They made him carry everything up the stairs, although the lift was working. After the party was over, we let the servants take the cakes away. But when passive, the boy was seen to fall off his bicycle. His heart was heard to beat once more. After the party was over, the servants were allowed to take the cakes away. Instead of the infinitive, we may find the gerund used in this construction when the action physically perceived is in progress or expressed as incomplete. The infinitive form gives the idea of the completed action. Compare. We saw them come to the door. We saw them coming to the door. The children watched their dog running about in the open field. Can't you smell rubber burning? I can't hear anyone shouting from here. Some verbs not of physical perception are also used in this construction. Here are one or two examples. We found John sitting at the table having lunch. John left his sister waiting in the car while he went into the bank. The bank manager caught the thief breaking into the strong room. I couldn't have imagined him studying so hard for the exam. We can't have them going all that way alone. I'll have the whole class working hard before I'm satisfied.